Good evening, and welcome back to Digital Mysteries. Tonight, we are dissecting a catastrophe, a $4 billion act of digital arson that brought hospitals to their knees. This attack exposed a chilling truth that sometimes the most dangerous weapon isn't a missile, it's a line of code. Our story begins not in the halls of power, but in a dreary, anonymous hotel room, May 12, 2017, 2:47 a.m. in Dalian, China. Inside room 413 of the Diango Hotel sat a man named Park Jin-hyuk. He was 32 years old, exhausted, running on 5 days of adrenaline. He was a programmer. He was a weapon maker. On his screen, the final lines of code. The monster was complete. He had found the missing piece only hours earlier, Eternal Blue. This was going to be a simple phishing campaign. This was a worm, autonomous, relentless. He was just following orders from the Lazarus Group. He typed, complete, ready for testing. The reply was instant, brutal. No testing, deploy now. His stomach dropped. They always tested. Always. He tried to argue, failsafe, not verified. Recommend a 48-hour delay. The order stood firm. Once deployed, there was no undo button. Park Jin-hyuk pressed enter. The upload bar crawled. He collapsed into sleep. 6 hours later, he woke up. His laptop was gone. His encrypted phone buzzed. Thank you for your work. The monster has been released. He turned on the television. BBC World News. Breaking news tonight. NHS, major corporations hit by massive cyber attack identified as WannaCry. Park Jin-hyuk watched the world burn. But to understand that moment, we have to look decades back to the Korean Peninsula. North Korea was left isolated and desperate. By the early 2000s, they realized the internet was the perfect crime scene. Borderless, anonymous, instantaneous. In 2009, they established Bureau 121. This military intelligence division focused on cyber warfare. They recruited their brightest minds and formed the Lazarus Group. Park Jin-hyuk joined in 2012. His first assignments were reconnaissance, learning SWIFT protocols, mapping corporate networks. The work was tedious, fragmented. This compartmentalization was key. It kept programmers like Park from understanding the full scope of their global cyber conspiracy. Their first major operation was Digital Humiliation. December 2014, Sony Pictures Entertainment. They wiped everything, costing over $100 million. Lazarus learned a valuable lesson. Embarrassment was powerful, but money was better. February 2016, the Bangladesh bank heist. The target, $1 billion from the New York Fed. Park wrote the malware that manipulated the SWIFT system. $81 million vanished into Philippine casinos, the largest digital bank heist in history. It failed because of a single typo. This is a common thread in so many unsolved cyber cases. The money disappears, laundered through opaque systems, leaving only the memory of the theft. Then came the event that changed everything. April 2017. The shadow brokers leaked a massive cache of cyber weapons stolen from the NSA. Among them was Eternal Blue, an exploit targeting a vulnerability in millions of unpatched Windows machines. Security researchers immediately understood the danger. And so did Lazarus. They were handed the blueprint for the perfect weapon. Park's new assignment was simple: build autonomous ransomware. He integrated Eternal Blue into his code, creating a relentless worm. He named it WannaCry. The ransomware was crude. The payment system barely worked. But because of Eternal Blue, it became the most dangerous malware ever created. In his final moments before deployment, Park did one thing that defined the entire event. He embedded a failsafe, an unregistered domain name. It was an insurance policy, a way to stop the monster if things went wrong. He never got to test it. May 12, 2017. The deployment. The first infections appeared in Spain. Within 90 minutes, the attack had spread to 74 countries. At 8:03 a.m. GMT, the UK's National Health Service began reporting system failures. Hospitals couldn't access patient records. Surgeries were canceled. By 10 a.m., it was catastrophic. WannaCry was indiscriminate. It hit car factories in France, railway systems in Germany. People were dying because of code. 2:30 p.m. GMT, Devon, England. Enter Marcus Hutchins, a two-year-old cybersecurity researcher. He noticed the code kept trying to connect to a non-existent domain. He registered the domain for $10.69, hoping to monitor it. The moment the domain went live, WannaCry stopped. Hutchins had accidentally activated the kill switch. Park's untested, secret failsafe had worked perfectly. The outbreak was stopped by accident. The damage, however, was done. 200,000 computers infected. A $4 billion economic impact. The investigation was fast. Digital forensics traced it back to Dalian, and finally, to a name, Park Jin-hyuk. The White House publicly attributed WannaCry to North Korea. The FBI indictment named Park explicitly. The indictment was symbolic. Park was beyond reach. He vanished. His story is a powerful example of the contemporary cyber conspiracy, a state-sponsored, profit-driven criminal network. Lazarus continues, targeting cryptocurrency exchanges, stealing vaccine research, all to fund the regime's nuclear program. WannaCry proved that exploits hoarded by governments become stolen Tomahawk missiles when they fall into the wrong hands. It proved that a single programmer's creation could spiral into a global crisis. Park Jin-hyuk vanished, leaving us with a critical, ongoing threat. So, what are the lessons we can draw from the Park Jin-hyuk file? The experience in combating and recovering from this digital age crime is clear. First, patch management is paramount. The reason WannaCry spread was that millions of systems were unpatched. Immediate, rigorous patching is the single most effective preventative measure. Second, limit your digital footprint. Adopt the principle of least privilege. If a system doesn't need external access, isolate it. Reduce your attack surface. Third, isolate critical infrastructure. Critical systems, hospitals, railways must be separated from standard office networks. If a worm hits admin, it should jump to patient records. Fourth, data backup and offline copies are essential. The best defense against ransomware is the ability to wipe the system clean and restore from a disconnected backup. Finally, cyber hygiene and training. Most attacks still start with human error. Continuous training on phishing remains a crucial frontline defense. The final toll of WannaCry was astronomical, but the lesson is simple. The line between espionage and global crime has completely blurred. Park Jin-hyuk is still out there. Lazarus is still operating. The monster is sleeping, but it never truly fades. Join us next time on Digital Mysteries, as we delve into another case where the code is king and the truth is buried deep in the network logs.